Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your love reading for June 2019. This is Elizabeth from channeledguidance.com. I've already shuffled the decks. We're actually going to do 3 spreads this month. We're going to start off with this spread with confirmation. We're going to do the X spread, but I'm also going to do a spread for those of you who are completely single and you just want to see if you're going to meet somebody new in June. Let's go ahead and begin. This is the love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June 2019. Your first card, Sagittarius, is the Nine of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. Queen of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. Knight of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. Nine of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. King of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. The High Priestess. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. Seven of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. Ace of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Sagittarius for June. And the Nine of Pentacles. What's the most important thing that Sagittarius needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? The message that you have, Sagittarius, is the Empress. So the Empress does represent a relationship that fulfills you in every way. This is a card of abundance. This is someone who gives you everything you've ever wanted. For some of you, this can even represent the sign of Aries, but for most of you, this is just the ideal relationship, either that you're in or someone that you're meeting. We'll come back to this card to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Also, if you would like to get a private reading with me, just go to my website, channeledguidance.com. I'll put a link down below. Also a link to my Facebook, and you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's see what you have here. You have the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. So you're starting off with this energy of perhaps somebody holding back from you. You do have an earth sign here. That would be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It can even represent your energy if you have a moon or rising and an earth sign. I mean, what I see here is someone who is fear-based. The Nine of Wands is someone who is perhaps afraid of being hurt. This can represent you or maybe someone you're in a relationship with or someone that you're interested in. The Nine of Wands is always someone who is paranoid, someone who just does not want to open up. They put up a lot of walls, a lot of defenses. They're very protective of themselves. I feel like, if you're in love with this person or someone who's in that energy, there's going to be some progress being made here in the month of June. The Knight of Pentacles does represent slow progress, though. Again, you're dealing with someone who is being very protective of themselves, and they are holding back in some way. Now, in the second row, we get a little bit more information. You have, ironically, you have the King and the Queen of Pentacles lined up here. So, in some way, there is an earth sign for you. Again, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. For those who are single, it could be that there's a strong message here of an earth sign around you. But for those of you who are already coupled, again, this can represent your partner. I mean, what I see here, the Knight of Swords means that there is a lot of fear. There is a lot of anxiety. Perhaps you're feeling really anxious about a partner who is maybe not letting you in emotionally. Again, with that Nine of Wands energy, someone is refusing to just open their heart. They're refusing to let you in. They're putting up a lot of walls and defenses because they don't want to be hurt. This is maybe creating a lot of anxiety for you. With the Nine of Swords, you're worrying yourself to death. You're being told here with the High Priestess to trust your intuition. Your intuition is telling you something very important in the month of June. She can also represent perhaps signs around you letting you know what you need to do about this relationship where there's just strong fear. I feel like part of it is you're worried about your relationship where someone's maybe not completely letting you in. But of course, it can also be that maybe you're afraid of maybe a new person that's come into your life, or you're worried about your existing relationship. Again, there is progress being made with the Knight of Pentacles. Now down here, you have the Seven of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. So the Seven of Wands, let's just start here. The Seven of Wands is telling you to really take your time in a relationship where maybe you are struggling. Again, Nine of Wands and Nine of Swords. Everything is lined up here. Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Really take your time and be very careful when making decisions. So for some of you, it could be that maybe you're fed up in a relationship where you're just afraid of what's coming next. Or maybe you're fed up in a relationship with somebody's holding back from you, or somebody is just being very protective. This does mean that you have to be careful in making decisions, weigh all of your options. And let me just jump over here. You have the 9 of Pentacles. This is about integrity, self-worth, self-love, self-esteem. This is telling you you have to do what's best for you. I don't know, it feels like for some of you, for the sign of Sagittarius, you might be feeling really stressed out about a relationship. And for some of you, you could be maybe looking at other options. It could be you, or it could represent even your partner. Maybe you're worried that your partner has other options. I mean, it's hard to say in a general reading, but this usually is a card where somebody's weighing the pros and cons of a relationship. Somebody is thinking, should I do this or should I do that? Or what will happen if I don't do this? What will happen if I do that? You're being told here that you need to think of yourself. You need to do what's best for you, especially if you're the one making the decision, whether you're going to stay with someone, whether you're going to file for a divorce. This is saying put yourself first. You do have a new beginning here. This could be a new person coming into your life, a new opportunity. But I mean, the Ace of Wands also represents a clean slate. So perhaps maybe you're trying to decide whether you're going to have a new beginning with someone. Do you have a future? I mean, I definitely see a clean slate here. So if there has been a lot of fear, there's been a lot of struggles, this is telling you that you can make things work. Okay, let's get a few more cards so we can get the rest of the message. What other messages are there for the sign of Sagittarius for June? You have the Lovers. What other messages are there for the sign of Sagittarius for June? The Ace of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Sagittarius for June? And the 2 of Swords. Okay, so I mean, you have the Lovers, which, I mean, this is a significant relationship. This is a relationship that is important to you. But to me, the Lovers, it also represents there's a relationship that you really want this to happen. This is a relationship that is, you don't want to let go of this person. You really want this relationship to work. Again, you have another new beginning here. You have the Ace of Wands, but now you have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a very unexpected and blessed new beginning. And I don't know, I feel like for some of you, it can definitely be for those who are already coupled that, yes, there's going to be a chance for a new beginning with your partner. It can also be, I don't know, I feel like for some of you, this can be maybe a very unexpected new relationship that comes into your life for those who are single. There is a choice here with the 2 of Swords. The 2 of Swords means that somebody has to take action, somebody has to make a decision. So this definitely ties in with the 7 of Pentacles, where there is, I feel like for the sign of Sagittarius, there are decisions that are being made as far as a relationship or a marriage. And again, this is someone who's being very careful about maybe who they're going to choose or what they're going to do next. Someone is weighing their options, weighing the pros and cons of maybe staying with you or taking you back or being in a relationship with you. And again, with the 2 of Swords, this is someone who refuses to take action. This is stuck energy because someone does not want to move. They don't want to look at things. They're refusing to take action. But, you know, there is a very significant relationship here with the Lovers. Keep in mind that your main energy was also the Empress. I mean, you have them both here. I just did another reading. I think it was for the sign of Aquarius, where they had the same thing. They had the Lovers and the Empress. So, I mean, this is a very significant relationship. I feel like there is a relationship here that you want very much. And again, that's why there is so much fear around this. You don't want to lose this person. You don't want to let go. But with this card here, there is like, things are not moving forward because someone refuses to decide. Someone refuses to take action. It can definitely just be that someone is being very careful with the 7 of Pentacles. You may feel like they're not acting, they're not deciding, but someone is being very careful maybe what they're going to do. Very first card, the 9 of Wands. Someone is just very protective of themselves. They're paranoid. I can see why you have the Knight of Pentacles here, slow progress. Now keep in mind that the Lovers can also represent the sign of Gemini. So for some of you, this can be your partner, or it can be an ex or somebody new that's coming into your life. Okay, let's get some confirmation from the confirmation deck here. What other messages are there for the sign of Sagittarius for June 2019? You have the Page of Swords. What other messages are there for the sign of Sagittarius for June? You have the King of Pentacles. Interesting, because you have the King and the Queen of Pentacles here, and I just added another King of Pentacles. What other messages are there for the sign of Sagittarius for June? Interesting. The Nine of Swords in reverse, right over the Nine of Swords. What's the most important thing that Sagittarius needs to hear about their love life for June 2019? Okay, that's another eye-opener because that's also a repeat card. You have it right here. So the King of Pentacles is a repeat card and the Nine of Swords is a repeat card. Here you go, Nine of Pentacles. You're being told here that you need to do what's best for you. So maybe for some of you, maybe you're the one who's torn as far as, you know, do I stay with them? Do I move on? Do I want to be with this person? This card is about decisions and you feeling good about yourself. So if you're dealing with someone maybe has lied to you repeatedly, someone that brings a lot of stress into your life, you want to keep that in mind. But again, the Nine of Pentacles is saying you have to put yourself first. Okay, so let's look at this right here. You have the Page of Swords. I mean, this is telling you that there has to be open and very honest communication in the month of June. The Page of Swords means that somebody really needs to spill their guts because, I mean, there is a lot of fear here. The Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords, and then the Nine of Swords in reverse. I mean, I definitely feel because it's in reverse, I mean, keep in mind that when it's upright, it's a lot of fear and anxiety. You're imagining the worst, but I feel like because you have the Page of Swords here, there can be communication between you and this person that you really want to have in your life, this person that you deeply love. There can be some type of very open and honest conversation, communication, where that fear can be gone. Because, I mean, from this deck, it's in reverse. Here, it was upright. And I feel like someone is, they're in the middle of deciding. You may feel like this person is not, you know, there's nothing going on. You may feel like you're stuck, you're not moving forward, but I feel like someone is just being very careful. For many of you, you could be hearing the truth. You could be hearing what, you know, how someone really feels about you. It could be that you've been stressing over a relationship or a marriage, and perhaps things are not what they seem. I feel like whatever it is that you're worrying about, you're stressing about, some type of conversation that you have, the truth is revealed where that fear is gone. Your insecurities are suddenly gone. You have no more, you know, anxiety or worry about a relationship or a marriage. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread using this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me get these out of the way. Keep in mind for the X spread, it can be someone you had a significant relationship with, but it can also be someone maybe that you just dated, someone you went out with a few times and just want to know if you're going to reconnect with them. Okay, so let's see what comes out for you. Show me the energies around Sagittarius and their ex for June. You have the Seven of Swords. Sagittarius and their ex for June. Interesting. Eight of Swords. Sagittarius and their ex for June. You have the High Priestess. So this one is a repeat card. Sagittarius and their ex for June. The Fool. Sagittarius and their ex for June. The Ten of Pentacles. Sagittarius and their ex for June. And the Knight of Pentacles. So this is also a repeat card. I mean, so what I see here, let's look at the first row here. You have the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the High Priestess. So, I mean, the Seven of Swords can be that maybe there was deceit in the relationship. This is a card sometimes of lies and deceit, but can also even be self-deceit because you have the Eight of Swords right next to it. The Eight of Swords, this is someone who is holding themselves back. And since we're asking about an ex here, this is someone who's no longer in your life. It could be that maybe this person is, again, I mean, this was in the first spread that I did for you, but this person maybe is holding back from you out of fear. I mean, that's what I see there with the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords means that someone feels trapped. Maybe they don't know how to come back to you. Maybe they feel that if they come back to you, it won't work. You did have the Nine of Swords 2 times in the first spread that I did for you. Again, I mean, the Seven of Swords, this can be denial, self-denial, self-deceit. Someone who is their own worst enemy. So if you have an ex who is like that, maybe someone who just doesn't want to face the truth, someone who sticks their head in the sand, the High Priestess is here to tell you you need to trust your intuition. And this is a repeat card. Here's the one from the first spread that I did for you. So the High Priestess is here 2 times, and the Knight of Pentacles is here 2 times as well. So, I mean, again, I mean, with the Seven of Swords, it's hard to say in a general reading because, I mean, this is going to be viewed by thousands of people, but the Seven of Swords can be for some of you perhaps deceit if there was, you know, that kind of ending in the relationship. But I feel for many of you, it is just someone is being their own worst enemy by allowing fear to hold them back, because that is what we saw in the first spread with the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords. You're being told to trust your intuition, and maybe your intuition is telling you that there will be a new beginning, which I see right here. The new beginning is, you know, this is a risky new beginning, yes, but it also means you have to trust your heart and your intuition. And ironically, you have the High Priestess, which is intuition 2 times. So your intuition is telling you, if your intuition is telling you your ex and you will reunite, then that is exactly what's going to happen, because you do have a new beginning here. With this card, you have to just trust. And then I see a relationship here, the Ten of Pentacles. This represents stability, but keep in mind for the sign of Sagittarius, there's slow progress being made towards your ex. The Knight of Pentacles is a repeat card, and it usually means that things won't happen as quickly as you want them to. And that would be because of the 7 and the 8 of Swords, because perhaps they're in denial, perhaps they're being their own worst enemy, they're not wanting to see things, they have the blinders on, and with the 8 of Swords, maybe they don't know how to find their way back to you, or maybe they don't think the relationship will work again. But I do see a new beginning here where you have to just trust that it's going to work. The Fool is a new beginning without any guarantees, just the guarantee that you're listening to your intuition. And again, there is a relationship here. There is stability. This can even be marriage, but there's just slow progress around it with the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the singles spread using this deck right here. And again, for the singles spread, this is for those of you who are completely single and you want to know if you're going to be meeting somebody new in the month of June, or perhaps maybe you're wanting to move on from your ex and you want to know if there's going to be someone else, or even if you're coupled. Okay, show us the energies. Will the sign of Sagittarius find a relationship in the month of June? You have the King of Wands. Will Sagittarius find a new relationship in the month of June? Interesting. Queen of Wands. Will the sign of Sagittarius find a new relationship in the month of June? Nine of Swords again, my goodness. Will the sign of Sagittarius find a new relationship in the month of June? The Three of Wands. Will the sign of Sagittarius find a new relationship in the month of June? Will the sign of Sagittarius find a new relationship in the month of June? The Page of Cups. Okay, so let's stop here and let's take a look at what you have. Let's start at the top. King and Queen of Wands with the Nine of Swords. I mean, again, this is a reading for those of you where you're completely single, or maybe you're just open to meeting somebody new. I mean, I definitely see here perhaps there can be another fire sign. You are a fire sign, but you have the King and Queen of Wands, so there's strong fire sign energy around you. Aries, Leo, or another Sagittarius, male or female, someone arising. And I do see a lot of worry there, but I mean, I feel based on the first spread that I did for you, where you had the Nine of Swords 2 times and the Nine of Wands, that many of you who are single, you may be just worried that, maybe you're worried that you're not going to meet anybody. Maybe you're worried that you're going to stay single. And you definitely don't want to do that. With the Nine of Swords, I mean, this is basically you convincing yourself that there's nobody there for me. Here it is. This is the one from the first spread that came up in the first deck. There is someone here. There is another fire sign. But I see you kind of focusing on the worst. For some of you, it could even be that you meet this fire sign and you might fear that this person's just going to be like everyone else that I met. They're going to turn out just like my ex, or it's going to turn out just like my last relationship. There could even be a lot of anxiety, maybe because it's someone very different. There's something there with that Nine of Swords where you're worried about a new relationship. Perhaps you're worried it won't work. Perhaps you're worried that they're very different. There's some worry there around a new relationship. Or maybe you're just worried that you won't find that person. I mean, I see here that you've been waiting. You have the Three of Wands. This means that you have been waiting for that perfect person. I mean, and it's here in the month of June. You have the Three of Cups. This is you celebrating. You have found a new relationship. The Page of Cups is like, it literally does represent sometimes a new relationship. This represents closeness. This represents someone that you can really kind of open up to. All the pages represent communication, but this page is someone who really speaks from the heart. This is someone who really is very loving and affectionate. Again, you have been waiting for that perfect person, and that happiness is here. And you do have 2 threes side by side here, and the threes do represent growth and expansion. So if you do meet another fire sign, and maybe you're worried, maybe you see certain red flags there, keep in mind that the relationship, it has, you know, a lot of potential. Again, with 2 3s, there's a lot of growing that has to happen, maybe for one of you or both of you or together as a couple. But I feel like this person is this is someone that you've been waiting for, that perfect person. It can be someone that you meet in June, another fire sign, where there can be a lot of happiness. This also can represent marriage. Let me get a few more. Will the sign of Sagittarius meet a new partner in the month of June? Page of Swords. You have another page here. Will the sign of Sagittarius meet a new partner in the month of June? The 8 of Cups. Will the sign of Sagittarius meet a new partner? Let's see. We have the Ace of Pentacles with the Emperor. So the Ace of Pentacles, this is a repeat card from the first spread that we did. So there can be, there definitely can be a new person for you. Because, I see it all over the spread. But, let me just start here. For some of you, you've got to just move on from any type of emotional issues from the past, emotional baggage. You have to let it go. Because, maybe that's why there's fear around you. And, perhaps you need to be completely honest about this. Are you ready to move on? You need to really make that decision. Because, here it is. There is a new relationship for you in the month of June. This is a new opportunity. Usually with the Ace of Pentacles, this is a very blessed new beginning. So this is a very blessed new relationship. Again, this is who you've been waiting for. There's a lot of happiness and a lot of love here and here. But there's a need to take control of your love life. And with the Emperor being here and the Knight of Swords 2 times, I feel like for many of you, you're taking back your power here. You're not allowing fear to rule you. You're not giving in to fear, despair. Maybe you're worrying you're not going to meet anybody. There's definitely somebody here for the sign of Sagittarius, but the Emperor is saying you're going to have to really be in control. There is a new relationship here, but for some of you, you may have to really make that decision to leave the past in the past. Get rid of that, those old memories, emotional baggage, and be completely honest with yourself. But for some of you, maybe you also need to be completely honest with someone that you meet in the month of June. Maybe letting them know that you've been hurt. Maybe letting them know that you have a lot of fears about love or relationships. Just be completely honest. I see a fire sign. And again, with the King and the Queen of Wands, if it's not a fire sign, it can be someone who is a lot like you. The King and the Queen of Wands, this is a couple. This is a couple who are very much alike. So it can be a fire sign. I feel like for many of you it can be, but it can also just be someone who is a lot like you. Okay, Sagittarius, this has been your love reading for June 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.